There's quite a few stages of selling on Amazon where I see beginners frequently making mistakes. So in this video, I'm going to go over these problem areas so you can be aware of these issues and avoid them when you reach each stage in your Amazon journey. But first, my name is Crescent, and if this is our first time meeting, welcome to my channel. My passion is sharing tips and strategies on how you can create a successful Amazon FBA private label business. So if you enjoy videos like this, or especially if you've been around my channel, consider subscribing. All right, let's get started. All right, so the first thing I want to touch on are some settings in Seller Central related to your account. So you can access this in Seller Central under the Settings tab. So if you go to Settings and click on Fulfillment by Amazon, you're going to be presented with this page. Now there's some default settings here that you want to make sure you have set correctly. And the first ones I want to touch on are Who Preps and Who Labels. Now if you click on Edit, it's going to let you change the default settings here. And what I recommend you set them to are Merchant and Merchant. By default, they're both Amazon. And what this means is Who Preps means who's going to prepare your shipments. And typically, you're going to do it. The merchant is you. So you're going to have your supplier prepare your packaging for you. And typically, you're going to have your supplier do all the prep work for your units and not have Amazon do it. Amazon actually charge you a per unit fee to do any preparing of your shipment. Okay, so make sure you choose Merchant. And default here is also Amazon. And what I recommend is you switch it to Merchant. And again, the merchant is you. So what the labels are the FNSKU barcode labels that Amazon requires to have on every single one of your units. Now, typically you're going to negotiate with your supplier to have your supplier put this FNSKU label on each unit for you. And sometimes your supplier will actually do it for free or at least cheaper than what Amazon would charge you. And if Amazon did it, it would actually be a 20-cent per unit charge. And next, this is a very important one that you don't want to miss either, is this inventory placement option. Now, why is this one important? Well, when you create your first shipping plan, most likely your shipment from your supplier coming from China will be packaged in several shipping cartons. And because of that, Amazon is going to split up your shipment to several warehouses across the country. Now, you might think this is going to cost you more in shipping to have your shipment shipped to multiple locations rather than one. And so a lot of beginners will switch this option here, the inventory placement option, and switch it to inventory placement service and select this option here. Now, selecting this option will have your entire shipment shipped to one Amazon warehouse. Now, what a lot of beginners don't realize is that by choosing this, Amazon will charge you a per unit fee. And more often than not, those actually end up being more expensive than if you just shipped it yourself to multiple warehouses across the country. So if we click on the Learn More option here, you can see that if you scroll down, there's a per unit fee of at least 30 cents. So make sure you're aware of this. Now, I recommend that you don't enable this option, and again, just have your shipment shipped to wherever Amazon requires you to ship it through the shipping plan. Now, the next item I want to touch on is how you're actually charged for your advertising fees. Now, by default, Amazon's going to deduct your advertising fees as far as your PPC fees from your earned revenue from your sales. And how that works is before you get your disbursement every 2 weeks, they're going to deduct your fees first and give you the remaining balance. Now, depending on what you prefer to do, I personally like to earn rewards from my credit cards. So if you go over here in settings and go to charge methods for advertising, Amazon will give you the option to actually charge your credit card instead. Now, if you go to your payment settings, you're going to see that the default option is to deduct the cost of advertising from your Amazon seller account balance. Now, if you're like me and you want to earn reward miles or other rewards from your credit card, which I recommend you do because you can travel for free or earn extra bonuses from your credit card plan, you can choose the credit card method. So all your advertising costs will be then charged to your credit card instead. And that's what I do here. All right, and the next very common problem that beginners often run into is when they're creating their very first product listing. So now when you go to inventory and you choose add a product, you're gonna see this page here. And what you wanna do when we're doing private label is not use the list a new product field here. What you need to do is actually choose the option below it, which is create a new product listing. Now, if you're doing arbitrage, then you would choose this field here because for arbitrage, you'd be listing your products under a parent listing that already exists on Amazon. However, for private label, the products are your own, manufactured by you. So you need to create your very own listing that you own. So you need to choose the create a new product listing option here and not type in a product name or UPC code in this field. So if you run into a problem while you're trying to create your listing or edit your listing where you can't see all the options or make any edits or changes, it's because you didn't choose this create a new product listing option. And if you did do that, that's okay. Just start all over and choose add a new product and make sure you choose create a new product listing. All right, next. So once you get into creating your listing, you're going to encounter this option here, fulfillment channel. And you want to make sure you choose the second option here. I want Amazon to ship and provide customer service for my items if they sell. And what that means is you're going to do FBA, which is fulfillment by Amazon. You're not going to do the fulfillment and shipping of your products each time one sells. You want Amazon to do it. So make sure you choose this option. Now, one thing to note though, is even though you chose this option, when you complete your listing, you might run into an issue where you can't print any FNSKU labels or the item labels, or you can't find the option to create a shipping plan to send products into Amazon for them to fulfill it. If that's the case, it's because for whatever reason, during the creation process of your listing, it defaulted back to fulfill by merchant. And if that's the case, then in Seller Central, go to manage inventory. And if you go to the edit button here, you'll see an option here that says change to fulfill by Amazon. In this case, my product here is already fulfilled by Amazon, so it gives me the option to change it back to fulfill by merchant. So if you see the option here that says change to fulfill by Amazon, it means it defaulted back to fulfill by merchant. So you need to change it to fulfill by Amazon, and that'll give you the option to print the item labels and create shipping plans to send items in to Amazon. All right, so the next thing I want to touch on is setting your prices correctly. So when you create a new listing, you're going to be presented with this page here where you can set the your price field, the sale price field, and the manufactured suggested retail price. Now, a big mistake that beginners make is setting these fields incorrectly, and this can affect your listing in the future as far as the ability of keeping ownership of the buy box. So because Amazon's very buyer-centric, they want to prevent sellers from manipulating the price or price gouging. So as a seller, in order to have the most leeway if you want to change your prices, what I suggest you do is in the your price field, set this price to the highest price you would ever imagine that you sell this product for. And then use the sale price field for the actual price you want to sell it for. That way, when you want to manipulate your price and move it up and down, you minimize the risk of losing the buy box. Because if you set the your price field too low and you start manipulating your actual sale price, if you adjust it too much, or if you set the price higher than what you have set in the your price field, Amazon can remove the buy box from you and you won't be able to sell any units. So make sure you set the your price field again to the highest price you ever imagined selling it for, and then use the sale price field for the actual price that you want to sell it for. Now, in order to use the sale price field, you'll need to set the sale price date to sometime in the past, and then set the sale end date to just sometime way in the future. Now, while you're on the same page, by default, this max order quantity field is set to nothing. And that means a buyer can buy as many units from you at once. Now, it's very important that you set this field to something other than nothing. And it's important that you do this because if you ever run a promotion with a deep discount, if you have this option set to default, which means there's no limit to how many units a buyer can purchase from you at one time, someone using a single coupon can wipe out your entire inventory. So make sure you set this maximum order quantity field to something reasonable. Now, on that same topic, as far as coupons and promotions are concerned, if you go to advertising and click on promotions and create a promotion, you want to make sure that at the bottom here, you choose the correct settings. Because again, if you choose the wrong settings here, someone can use the same coupon multiple times or apply multiple coupons in one order and get a huge discount or wipe out your inventory. So again, make sure you choose single use over here so that each coupon can only be used once. Make sure you choose one redemption per customer, that's checkmarked, and make sure that preferential is chosen here. And again, it's very important that you choose these options so someone can't take advantage of you and wipe out your inventory. All right, and lastly, a common mistake that a lot of beginners make is they get confused while they're creating their very first shipping plan. Now, what I recommend you do is when you create your shipping plan, to always choose individually packed products. Now, even if your manufacturer is case packing your products, I always still suggest choosing individually packed. Now, what does this mean? Case packed means your supplier has packaged the same number of units inside every shipping carton. So regardless how many cartons there are in your shipment, every box has the same number of units. So you can choose case packed, right? But the problem occurs here is when you have an odd MOQ, which is your minimum order quantity, where your supplier's created a shipment where the contents of each carton may be different. For example, there's 5 shipping cartons and 4 of them have 100 units each, and the last one only has 50. Like you only order 450 units, for example. Or you have variations of your product and you have a mixed carton, meaning there's several different types of products inside each carton, and that's where you have to choose individually packed anyways. So regardless of what you do, it doesn't matter if you choose individually packed, you'll have the option to specify how many cartons there are, what's inside each carton, and they don't have to be the same quantity or the same product. So choose individually packed. Now, if you run into the problem where you can't specify a different size, shape, weight, or quantity inside your extra carton, then that's because you chose case packed, and you can just forget that shipping plan, delete it, or just create a new one. It doesn't matter. Any unused shipping plans won't affect your account, so just create a new one and start all over. Now, here's the page that I was talking about where you can specify how many shipment cartons and what's inside each carton. So you want to choose this option here. Multiple boxes is most likely what your shipment's going to come in. Choose multiple boxes. And here's where you can specify how many units are inside each box and what the size and weight of each box is. And you can get this information from your supplier. Typically, once they've completed manufacturing of your product, they'll have this information for you. So again, let's assume you ordered 450 units and they came in 5 boxes. So again, let's assume there's 4 boxes of 100 and then an extra box with 50 in it. So I can do that here. I'll specify 100 and we'll make up a size and weight here. And then add another box. And let's assume that they are identical. Okay, and then the last box will be different. There's only 50 of them in there. And again, we'll make up something here. Okay, so by choosing individually packed, you'll have this option to specify different size boxes and what's inside each box. So if you run into a situation where you can't specify different box sizes and units inside each box, then you chose case packed. So you want to start all over and make sure you choose individually packed. I'm curious, what other areas did you have problems with when you first started your Amazon journey? Post them in the comment section below. All right, I hope this helps those of you that are just getting started with your first product. These are some common problem areas that I see beginners often get stuck on. So now that you know, hopefully you can avoid getting stuck when you reach these stages of your Amazon journey. And if you have any questions, post them in the comment section below. I answer every single one of them. All right, thanks for watching. If you found value in this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And to make sure you never miss a video, be sure to click that bell icon to turn on notifications. There's also a link in the video description below to our community forums, which you should totally join. And if you're looking for more tips and strategy videos, click or tap over here. And as always, thanks for watching.